So I was locked up for 5 years at Roxbury Correctional Institution in Hagerstown. And it was while I was there that I started to rebuild my life. My life had unraveled, all the things that I had done came crashing down because of a lifelong battle with alcohol. And I ended up going to prison for a 15-year sentence that had to do something with domestic violence. While in prison, decided I wanted to do a reentry program, and that's why I'm here today. When I was incarcerated here, I met so many people who worked there, the social workers, correctional officers, and a lot of the inmates there were from Hagerstown. So I got to know them. I would sit at a table like this in a prison rec room and get to know all about Hagerstown, and get to know everyone's hometown. And I thought, well, based on that, it's a prison-centric town with 3 prisons and 350 people in our detention center. That's a lot of souls locked up in this little village. And I said, if I can get my act together by the time I leave here, I want to be a role model, and this is the perfect town to do it.
Bill has been such a breath of fresh air for us because he's such a resource that wants to knock down the barriers and the silos of everybody working separately and wants everyone to try to be a cohesive group and all work together. So whether we're strictly substance abuse and he's working on reentry, and he's just really trying to bridge all those gaps that we can all be working together to make it as easy as possible for everybody to get what they need and help as many people as we can.
Occupation, spirituality, education, and personal life. They're the 4 components of my Business of Living program. And ironically, it's a business award, and one would say, how can you be nominated and a finalist for a business award when you're running a reentry program for ex-inmates and ex-addicts? And it's safe to say that we all have a life, and it's called the business of living. We invest in people. We invest in anyone who gets out of a recovery house or a returning citizen to Washington County. Gatekeepers and Bill Gertner invest in these people, trying to get the magic back in them that I found out by serving time in prison. When I first came here, I knew 2 people. I knew Marty and Joe. One was an ex-offender and one was his coach. And they happened to pick me up at the gate. And it showed me how you're supposed to leave prison and come here. So there's so much to this story that's beautiful, and it can only evolve in Hagerstown because Hagerstown is the perfect place for people to have a second chance. I would like to have, thousands of alcoholics and thousands of returning citizens, knowing that there's hope out there, and if Bill Gertner can do it, you can do it.
I'm a 3rd-generation financial advisor. My grandfather, Jack Hershey, was a longtime stockbroker in this community. My uncle, John Hershey, became a financial advisor in the 80s, and now my brother, Jerry Spessard, and I work alongside John. A lot of people are surprised when they learn that it was never the plan for me to join the family business. It makes me smile when I think about it because 20 years ago, when I graduated from high school, my grandfather probably envisioned me marrying a stockbroker, not becoming one myself. But I know he's looking down, smiling, really proud of everything that I'm doing now. I've always been a numbers nerd, and I attended Smithsburg High School. And in high school, I had the opportunity to take 3 levels of accounting class. I had a great teacher, her name was Mrs. Calamari, and ever since that opportunity to take those classes, I knew I wanted to pursue accounting. And my first job I took in New York City, working for an accounting firm called Ernst & Young, and I worked as an auditor. And I really liked auditing. It was a great place to start, but I knew long-term I wanted more interaction with people. So I'm really fortunate that my path led me to become a financial advisor. The industry has changed a lot. When my grandfather was a stockbroker, it was very sales and transaction oriented, and it's evolved, and now it's more holistic financial planning. I see myself as a financial counselor, and I really get to know my clients and help them navigate different financial aspects through their lifetime, which I really enjoy. There is a quote by Maya Angelou that says, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. And that resonates with me. And I would say the thing I'm most proud of is, by that definition, I have achieved success. I like myself, I like what I do, and I like how I do it. I know I have a lot of learning and growing and hopefully achieving ahead of me, but if I am able to continue to do it with that definition of success in mind, I'll be really proud of myself. When I was growing up, my parents and grandparents would remind me, to whom much is given, much is expected. This community has given me so much. As a youth, I had fantastic teachers, coaches, and mentors. I feel very thankful, and I want to work hard to pay it forward for a community that's given me so much.
My name is Dr. Jim Klauber, and I'm president of Hagerstown Community College. Born and raised in South Carolina, was involved in politics there, served in the legislature for a decade, and worked for a sitting governor as his law clerk for a while as well. Then practiced law, and then went into higher education. And when I was a boy, I was very active in scouting. I'm an Eagle Scout. The scout troop I was in was composed really of a lot of kids whose parents worked in the textile mills. They were not people of means. I came from a middle-class background, and so it really taught me to be together, work together, and learn about a lot of people who came from very different backgrounds than my own. Being in the legislature really gave me a lot of skills about building consensus and working with other people, doing things like that. I was hired into higher education by a man named Dr. Lex Walters, who actually later, turned into almost a father figure to me. And then when I went to Kentucky, I got to work for a man named Dr. Mike McCall, who also was nationally known, especially through American Association of Community Colleges, and he was a great boss to really learn a lot from. Finally, at the University of South Carolina, I learned, and under a man named Dr. Jim Hudgens, who taught me a lot about leadership and taught me those things that I learned in the National Guard, and then he really taught me how to apply those and define them so that I knew what leadership traits to apply. And I really have to credit the three of them for helping me get to where I am. I always tell our students, you need to have a mentor in your career field. And I think that's a key thing for individual and personal success, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the help of those three men. I've been around, I've lived in a lot of places, but I have never lived in a community that had so much potential that all we have to do is realize it. This community has so many things going for it. The quality of life is just off the chart. You've got good people, good hard-working people. The employees at the college are superlative. They're dedicated to our students. They want to see them succeed. They want to see the community succeed, and that's a great team to work with. And so being around people like that, living in the environment in which we do, it makes me want to excel and go as far as I can. And it makes me passionate about living here and being a part of this wonderful county and all the people in it. I would say personally that my biggest accomplishment probably is yet to be realized. I have two sons. They're still a work in progress, but they are turning into fine young men. I would say certainly what is getting Teresa Wyatt Klauber to say yes. That would probably be my biggest accomplishment. I mark the accomplishments of my life by that of my father. If I've often said if I could be half the man that he was, I would have lived a great life. And I think that were he living, my mother living as well, they would both be very proud of that accomplishment.